Imagine sipping your morning joe on a porch swing, the kind that creaks like it's whispering secrets from the 50s, when suddenly a woman storms your lawn like she's auditioning for a bad cop drama, clipboard raised like a sword, eyes bulging with self-righteous fury, barking about unregistered livestock at your grandpa's gentle old cow. That's how it started in Willow Creek Meadows, our slice of American suburbia where the grass is always greener because the HOA fines you if it's not. And joy? Well, that's just another word for a violation waiting to happen. But this wasn't just about a cow. It was about a neighborhood bully in pearls who thought rules were her throne, and the quiet guy who'd had enough of her whispers turning into wildfires. In Willow Creek, the houses all looked like they stepped out of a catalog. Neat rows of beige siding, manicured lawns clipped to exactly 2.5 inches, and mailboxes that had to match or else. It was the kind of place where folks smiled at block parties but gossiped like vultures behind closed blinds. Me? I'm Alex Thompson, the guy who'd moved back in with Grandpa Joe after my life imploded a couple years back. Rumors had flown then. Alex lost his job because he was lazy, or he's hiding from something shady. Truth was, I'd been laid off from a tech gig during the downturn, and Grandpa needed help after Grandma passed. But in this cul-de-sac echo chamber, facts were optional. I kept my head down, mowed the lawn on schedule, and ignored the side eyes from the likes of Karen Whitaker, the HOA president who'd made it her life's mission to police every blade of grass. Karen was a masterpiece of suburban hypocrisy, mid-50s, with a bob haircut sharper than her tongue, always in pastel polos embroidered with the HOA logo like it was a badge of honor. She'd wave hello with a smile that didn't reach her eyes, then slap you with a fine for a garden gnome deemed tacky. It's for the community's standards. She'd coo at meetings, her voice dripping with fake concern, while manipulating votes to keep her iron grip on the board. Fear of losing that power made her twitchy. One wrong move, and she'd amp up the absurdity, like the time she tried to ban holiday lights that weren't neutral-toned. Grandpa Joe, a retired mechanic with a voice like worn leather and a patience forged from fixing engines that didn't want to be fixed, had always played nice. But then came Bessie. Bessie wasn't just any cow. She'd wandered into Grandpa's life at a county fair auction, a rescue from a failing farm, with eyes like deep pools of calm and a moo that sounded more like a sigh. After Grandma's death, the house had felt hollow, echoes bouncing off walls where laughter used to live. Bessie filled that void. Grandpa built her a little pen in the backyard, tied a faded blue ribbon around her neck, and spent evenings brushing her coat, talking to her about the old days. She was his therapy, unregistered and unapologetic. Me, I helped feed her, chuckling at how she'd nuzzle my hand like she knew my secrets. But in Willow Creek, where pets were limited to approved breeds under 50 pounds, Bessie was a ticking bomb. That fateful morning, the air was crisp, the kind that promises a lazy Saturday until it doesn't. Grandpa was on the porch, nursing black coffee, when Karen's SUV screeched to a halt at the curb. She marched up the driveway, heels clicking like accusations, her face a mask of triumphant outrage. "Joe Thompson," she declared, voice echoing off the neighbors' garages. "You are in blatant violation of Bylaw 7. Section 4. No farm animals permitted on residential lots. That beast must go." Grandpa didn't flinch. He set his mug down slowly, the steam curling up like a question mark. "Morning, Karen." "Beast, this here's Bessie. She's family, not some outlaw." I froze in the doorway, coffee sloshing in my cup. Karen's eyes narrowed, scanning Bessie like she was contraband. Bessie, oblivious, flicked her tail and let out a soft, rumbling belch that hung in the air like punctuation. A jogger passing by Mr. Patel from down the street slowed, stifling a grin. Karen whipped out her phone, snapping photos. I've already notified the board. You have 48 hours to remove it, or fines start at $100 a day. We can't have this lowering property values. Think of the children. Children love cows, Grandpa said mildly, scratching Bessie behind the ear. She leaned into him, her massive head dwarfing his shoulder. Maybe you should try petting one sometime. Might loosen that knot in your brow. Karen's cheeks flushed, but she plastered on that HOA smile. This isn't personal, Joe. It's about order. Without rules, we'd be chaos. She turned on her heel, but not before muttering loud enough for the wind to carry. Some people just don't belong in a nice neighborhood like this. And just like that, the whispers started. By noon, the neighborhood Facebook group was ablaze. Did you see the cow at the Thompsons? Joe's losing it since his wife died. Alex probably brought it, heard he's got a record. Lies, of course. But Karen liked to seed them, watching them grow like weeds. I bit my tongue, watching from the window as curtains twitched across the street. Grandpa patted my back. Let him talk, son. Truth's got longer legs than gossip. But inside, I seethed years of enduring those rumors. And now this, I started noting things. Karen's selective enforcement, like how her own yard had unapproved solar lights, or how she'd ignored the Smiths' oversized shed because they voted her way. Patience, I told myself. Observe. Plan. The next day, tension simmered like asphalt in July. Karen escalated, posting in the group, reminder, livestock endangers our pristine community. Report violations anonymously. Comments poured in, some supportive of her leadership, others questioning. Then, a kid from next door, little Timmy, snuck over with a carrot. Can I feed her, Mr. Joe? Grandpa nodded, and Timmy's face lit up as Bessie munched gently. I snapped a quick video, not thinking much, but when I posted it with a caption, Bessie making friends, it went viral in the group. Likes from unexpected quarters. The mail lady, the retired vet down the block. Karen commented, cute, but rules are rules. Emotional appeals won't change bylaws. That evening, a knock. It was Sheriff Lena Ruiz, a no-nonsense woman with a badge that shone like her wit. She wasn't there for Bessie, yet. Got a complaint about nuisance odors. Mind if I take a look? Grandpa led her out back. Lena eyed Bessie, then pulled an apple from her pocket. Here, girl. Bessie accepted it with a grateful nudge. Lena chuckled. Smells like fresh hay to me. Karen's barking up the wrong tree again. As she left, she winked. Hang in there. These HOA types love power until it bites back. But Karen wasn't done. She organized an emergency patrol, cruising the streets in her golf cart, megaphone in hand. Compliance checks in progress, she'd announce, stopping to measure fences or note unauthorized decorations. One afternoon, she pulled up to our place while Grandpa was hosing the driveway. Still here. I see, she said, voice saccharine. Pity. I hate seeing good folks find into oblivion. Good folks, Grandpa echoed, turning the hose slightly so a mist sprayed near her feet. Like how you find the Garcias for their kids' lemonade stand. Real threat to society. That. Karen stiffened. That was about permits. Safety first. But her eyes darted, fear of exposure flickering. I watched from inside, jotting notes on my phone. Dates. Violations she'd ignored elsewhere. The neighborhood buzz grew. Whispers turned to murmurs at mailboxes. Karen's gone too far this time. A few brave souls liked my posts. Then came the block party, the HOA's annual farce of forced fun. With plastic smiles and overgrilled hot dogs under a banner reading unity through standards. Grandpa decided to attend, Bessie in tow, adorned with a silly hat some neighbor kid had made. If we're outlaws, might as well own it, he said with a grin. As they ambled in, conversations halted. Kids gasped in delight. Adults whispered. Karen, manning the punch bowl, dropped a ladle. You can't bring that here. This is a sanctioned event. No animals. Grandpa surveyed the grill. Looks like you've got plenty of beef already. Snickers rippled. Teen barked a laugh. Even the mayor, sweating in his suit, hid a smirk. Bessie, sensing the vibe, wandered to the food table and, perfect timing, dropped a massive, steaming pile right by the coleslaw. Mrs. Henderson, who'd slaved over that slaw, yelped like she'd seen a ghost. Chaos erupted. People jumping back. Someone yelling biohazard. Karen's face twisted in horror. Her standards literally crapped on. Oh dear, Grandpa deadpanned. Must be all that fresh air disagreeing with her. Laughter exploded. Phones out recording. Karen fumed. This is sabotage. I'll have you evicted. But the crowd shifted. Folks patting Bessie. Sharing stories. My dog helps with my anxiety, one said. Why not a cow? The party devolved into a Bessie fan club. Karen sidelined, her authority mocked in real time. That night, a letter arrived, official HOA stationery. Threatening eviction. Liens. The works. Grandpa read it silently, then rested his head against Bessie's flank. This ain't about you, girl. It's about control. I saw the grief in his eyes. The cow was his lifeline post-grandma. We're fighting smart, I said. We relocated Bessie at dusk to an abandoned lot nearby, with help from Sheriff Lena off-duty. Don't trip on the politics, she quipped, guiding us through shadows. Karen, furious at the escape, amped her crusade. Drones buzzed our yard. She posted evidence online. Hay scraps, footprint. Community degradation, she ranted. But her overreach backfired. Neighbors shared her own violations anonymously. I compiled a dossier. Photos of her unpermitted gazebo. Emails showing board manipulation. Patience paying off. The lawsuit hit like a storm. HOA versus Thompson's. Public nuisance. Emotional manipulation. Karen's obscure clauses sounded like satire. We lawyered up. Enter Dana Pierce, a bulldog attorney with a voice like gravel and a knack for dismantling egos. Their case is built on hot air, she said. We'll pop it. Court day. Packed gallery. Signs waving movie over. HOA. Karen testified first. Charts glowing. Quoting founders like scripture. This cow threatens our civilized fabric. Dana countered with witnesses. A neighbor whose depression eased visiting Bessie. A kid who'd stopped screen addiction feeding her. Grandpa on the stand. She ain't livestock. She's what keeps me going. Lost my wife, but found a way to breathe. Sheriff Lena. Threat? Only to bad attitudes. The judge, weary, ruled for us, variance granted, fines voided. Karen's amendments, tossed like yesterday's news. Post-ruling, our yard transformed. Benches, a sign welcome all, kindness required. Neighbors converged, sharing burdens under Bessie's watchful gaze. Karen faded, rumors of her moving to a stricter enclave. Months later, she appeared sheepishly with pie. Truce, Grandpa. Not about sorry, about changing. Bessie nuzzled her. Karen laughed, human for once. The town honored it as Bessie's haven, a spot for real connection. Evenings, Grandpa and I sit, the world softer. Whispers quieted, community bloomed. Rules? Still there, but secondary to hearts. Was Grandpa justified in defying the HOA for Bessie? Or should rules always trump personal needs? Can a community truly thrive under rigid control? Or does kindness demand flexibility? Share your take. Did the tyrant get what she deserved? Or was she just enforcing order?